Welcome to the Fit Woman Formula podcast, where we show women just like you how to reclaim your energy, rebuild your body, and step into you 2.0. I'm Coach Jonathan, founder and head coach of the Fit Woman Formula coaching program. This show is for women who are tired of starting over and ready to finally create results that last. Not just weight loss, but real confidence, a healthier relationship with food, a stronger mindset, and a lifestyle that finally lasts. You can watch full episodes on YouTube or listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you enjoy podcasts. And if you're ready to learn more about how we can help you unlock the energy and confidence of your 20s while dropping 2+ sizes in the next 12 weeks, visit fitwomanformula.com. All right, let's get into today's episode. There is a point where most women feel like they've tried everything. You feel like you've learned what to eat. You've tried the different workouts. You've made real efforts to be consistent, and yet something isn't clicking. And that's because there's one piece that most women are missing. This is not a knowledge problem. This is a certainty problem. Certainty. I want you to lock that word in because this is really what this is all about. Because when you're not certain that what you're doing is going to work, you hesitate. You second guess. You start to look for something else. I call this shiny object syndrome. And the shiny objects on your Instagram feed, and you're scrolling, and you're hearing the cortisol, and you're hearing the hormones, and you're seeing this supplement and that supplement. And guess what? Eventually you fall off. And this is where it starts to feel really, really heavy because most women feel like they're doing this alone. You feel like maybe you're the only one at this age that's struggling with this. Like you should have figured this out by now. As many attempts as you've given this, you should have figured this out already. You've tried different diets, you've tried different programs, nothing has stuck. And so it starts to feel like, well, maybe it's just me. And when it feels like that, it's easy to start grasping at anything. Even when you know deep down that it probably doesn't make sense. Things like more restriction, more rules, more quick fixes, more supplements, more fad diets. And every time that it doesn't work, it chips away at your belief. It creates more doubt. You have less hope. And there's way more frustration. This is where coaching and support change everything. Because now you're not doing this alone. You're surrounded by women who are on the same path. Women who have been exactly where you are. And women who are ahead of you, getting the results that you want. So you start to see it happening. You see the women who had the same struggles. And now they're dropping sizes. They're feeling better. They're doing things that they didn't think were possible. And that gives you something powerful. I mentioned it a moment ago, certainty, because now it's not just you hope something works for you. You know it works. You absolutely know that it works. And this is when it just becomes not a matter of if you're going to get there, it's a matter of when. So when you have certainty, you are dangerous. You stop second guessing. You stop program hopping where you're jumping from plan to plan and you start actually following through. Now, let me share something with you. When I first started coaching over 10 years ago, what I thought women needed was someone to be on top of them all the time, like a drill sergeant, calling them out, keeping constant pressure on them. But the reason I thought that is because this is what women were telling me that they needed. Jonathan, I just need someone to come slap the candy bar out of my hand. I just need you to yell at me a little bit. Keep me on track when I'm not doing things right. That's not what most women need. Because guess what? You already do a great job of telling yourself that you're doing everything wrong. What do you actually need? What you actually need is someone who can help you see the reality of what's going on. A lot of the times, women are actually on the right track. They just don't see it. And why do they have trouble seeing it? Because of stress, because of overwhelm, because of everything going on in their lives. And the emotions get in the way. And it's not that emotions are bad. It's just that your emotions frequently lie to you. I'll tell you, I have conversations like this all the time. And when they are off track, guess what? We adjust and we fix it and we move forward. That's what coaching actually looks like. And so again, I see this all the time. I'll be doing a check-in with one of the ladies in the Fit Woman Formula. And the first thing that we talk about is what's gone well for the week. What went well since we spoke last, over the last week or so. And it's not uncommon that I'll get an answer like, you know what, Jonathan, this was just a really tough week. There were no wins. Nothing went well. And I'll say, okay. And we'll go in and we'll look at what they've actually tracked in terms of their workouts and their habits and their movement and their food. And I'll tell you, more than 80% of the time, what I find is they're pretty much right on track. Maybe there's a couple things here or there that are missing, but the consistency is there. So what's going on? It's the stress. It's everything else going on in their lives. Maybe the kids are sick. Maybe there's stuff going on at work. There's a project that's taking a lot more bandwidth. And so what happens? Well, all of this stress and all of these other things going on create this narrative that you're not doing a good job. The analogy I like and the way that I picture this, and we share a visual along these lines in our community a lot, and it's that stress and everything going on can create a smoke screen to seeing the wins, create a smoke screen between you and what the reality is. And so you think things aren't going well. But what we're really talking about is that you need someone in your corner. And this can't be your spouse. This can't be your partner. This can't be your kids. It's not going to be your doctor. You need someone who understands this process, someone who is outside of this inner circle of people in your life. And I guess the doctor is kind of outside of that, but they're not going to hold you accountable with this stuff. And again, a lot of the times you're not getting great advice from your doctors. And why is that? Because this is outside of their scope of practice. And I'm going to talk about that more in later episodes. Why you don't really get the best nutrition or exercise advice from your doctor. That's not their job. You should be a little bit skeptical when they are giving you advice about these things. They should be referring you out to a nutritionist or dietitian or coach or something along those lines. But you need someone who understands this process and who can actually walk you through it step by step, especially when things get hard. And guess what? Things are going to get hard sometimes. Even within our program, one of the most important parts of my job is helping to give women healthy expectations. And what you need to understand is that inside any program, even ours, there are going to be bumps in the road. The difference is when you have support and when you have a good coach and a community walking alongside of you, you know what to expect. You know what's ahead. You know how to handle things better because you know what's likely going to be coming your way. A lot of the times the trouble is it's just totally unexpected. People give you this idea that, oh, it's just going to be perfect. But look, you need these bumps in the road. This is how you learn. This is how you do things better. This is how you fill gaps in the systems that maybe aren't serving you best. So, these little bumps in the road, they're important. But this ties into everything that we've talked about so far in this podcast. Energy, food, consistency, all of that works. But this is what makes it stick. It's the coaching and support. Because knowing what to do and actually doing it are two completely different things. And this is what bridges the gap. I would want you to just consider and reflect for a moment. If you are someone who catches yourself saying a lot, I know what to do, but then at the same time, you're not getting the results. That's the gap that we're talking about here. And I'll tell you that this might not be you completely, but I'll share kind of where I was for a long time. I used to jokingly say, but it's serious, it's just true, that I was Mr. I Know. You could be giving me some information about rocket science or something that I know nothing about whatsoever. And the first words out of my mouth would be, I know. And so I was stuck. I stayed stuck for a very long time in a lot of areas in my life, especially my health and fitness. And this is one of the biggest reasons that I struggled for so long to lose weight, because I thought I had it all figured out. I didn't. I had to take a step back and I had to get honest with myself at a certain point and kind of almost flip what I think of as like the stupid switch. And not to say that I'm this super smart guy, but I'll tell you, I see a lot of ladies who are very smart, very intelligent. And I would say that's all the ladies that we work with. But the ladies who are in kind of this upper echelon of intelligence are sometimes the ones that get into the most trouble because there's two captains trying to steer the ship. And if you're going to get into a coaching relationship with someone, you have to turn that over. I have to be willing to say, I don't know, lead the way. And I'm a coach who has coaches, and I'm going to talk about that more later on as well. But this is what bridges the gap. It's the coaching and support. It's the coaching and community. And for the first time when you have that, you don't feel like you're figuring this out alone. You feel like you're on the right path. And again, you know it's going to work. It's not a matter of if. It is a matter of when. Now, on the next episode, we're going to shift into your workouts and into training, and I'm going to show you how to structure them so that you're actually getting results without wasting time or burning yourself out. That's a big one. I'm super excited about this because look, more is not better. Better is better. And that wraps up today's episode of the Fit Woman Formula podcast. I hope today's conversation helped you take one more step toward reclaiming your energy, rebuilding your body, and stepping into you 2.0. If you found this helpful, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss future episodes. And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, I'd really appreciate it if you left a quick rating or review. It helps more women discover the show. Ready to unlock the energy and confidence of your 20s while dropping 2+ sizes in the next 12 weeks without restricted diets, useless supplements, or living in the gym? Visit fitwomanformula.com to learn how we've helped hundreds of women just like you. I'll see you in the next episode.